St. Petersburg, Russian Sankt-Peterburg, formerly 1914-24, Petrograd, and 1924-91, Leningrad, city and port, extreme northwestern Russia. A major historical and cultural center and an important port, St. Petersburg lies about 400 miles, 640 kilometers northwest of Moscow and only about 7 degrees south of the Arctic Circle. It is the second largest city of Russia and one of the world's major cities. St. Petersburg has played a vital role in Russian history since its founding in 1703. For 2 centuries, 1712 to 1918, it was the capital of the Russian Empire. The city is remembered as the scene of the February, March, New Style, and October, November, New Style revolutions of 1917 and for its fierce defense while besieged during World War II. Architecturally, it ranks as one of the most splendid and congenial cities of Europe. St. Petersburg is a mecca of cultural, historical, and architectural landmarks. Founded by Tsar Peter I the Great as Russia's window on Europe, it bears the unofficial status of Russia's cultural capital and most European city, a distinction that it strives to retain in its perennial competition with Moscow. 3 distinctive characteristics of St. Petersburg engage attention. The first is the city's harmonious mix of Western European and Russian architecture. Second is St. Petersburg's lack of an unequivocal city center, which, in other Russian cities of medieval origin, is defined by a Kremlin and its surrounding area. The third characteristic feature of the city is its many waterways. The short but full-flowing tributaries and canals of the Neva River that stretch to the Baltic coast are inseparable from St. Petersburg's panorama. Many of the city's most famed architectural sites stretch along the Neva's historic embankments. Moreover, the bridges and natural canals of the river have earned St. Petersburg the nickname Venice of the North. Because of St. Petersburg's northerly location, the city enjoys the white nights from June 11th to July 2nd, when daylight extends to nearly 19 hours, another of St. Petersburg's most acclaimed characteristics. Among the cultural events devoted to celebrating the White Nights are the festivals organized by the Mariinsky and Hermitage Theaters and the Rimsky-Korsakov St. Petersburg State Conservatory. Each night during the White Nights, the bridges spanning the Neva are raised to let boat traffic through. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, St. Petersburg imbibed a new energy as crumbling facades, potholed roads, and cultural landmarks were renovated. St. Petersburg is located on the delta of the Neva River, at the head of the Gulf of Finland. The city spreads across 42 islands of the delta and across adjacent parts of the mainland floodplain. The very low and originally marshy site has subjected the city to recurrent flooding, especially in the autumn, when strong cyclonic winds drive Gulf waters upstream, and also at the time of the spring thaw. Exceptionally severe inundations occurred in 1777, 1824, and 1924. The last 2 were the highest on record and flooded most of the city. To control the destructive floodwaters, the city built in the 1980s an 18-mile, 29 km, long dike across the Gulf of Finland. A number of canals also have been cut to assist drainage. Greater St. Petersburg, the city itself with its satellite towns, forms a horseshoe shape around the head of the Gulf of Finland and includes the island of Kotlin in the Gulf. On the north, it stretches westward along the shore for nearly 50 miles, 80 kilometers, to include Zelenogorsk. This northern extension is an area of dormitory towns, resorts, sanatoriums, and children's camps set among extensive coniferous forests and fringed by fine beaches and sand dunes. Some upper-class St. Petersburg residents also have summer cottages, or dachas, in this area. On the southern side of the Gulf, the metropolitan limits extend westward to include Peterhof and Lomonosov. Eastward, Greater St. Petersburg stretches up the Neva River to Ivanovskoye. St. Petersburg evolved as a city of culture, and the number and quality of its cultural institutions remain one of its enduring attractions. It has many large and grand, as well as small but reputable, theaters and auditoriums. The Mariinsky Theater, called the Kirov State Academic Theater of Opera and Ballet during the Soviet period, has long enjoyed an international reputation, and its resident company is frequently on tour abroad. Other important theaters are the Mali, Tavstanagov, Pushkin, and musical comedy theaters. The largest of several concert halls is the October Great Concert Hall, which seats some 4,000 people. The city's musical tradition has been enhanced by the Rimsky-Korsakov Conservatory. Notable museums include the Hermitage and the State Russian Museum, both of international prominence. The latter museum traces the history of Russian art from the 10th century to the present. St. Petersburg is a significant center of the country's motion picture industry and has been host to the annual Kino Expo International Convention for Russian Cinema at its exhibition center on the waterfront. There are a large number of libraries in the city, headed by the Saltykov-Shchedrin Public Library on Nevsky Prospect, established in 1795. Of all the libraries in Russia, it is second only to Moscow's Russian State Library, formerly the V.I. Lenin Library. Another important specialized collection is the Institute of Russian Literature, Pushkin House, on Vasilyevsky Island. St. Petersburg has abundant recreational facilities and green spaces for such a large city. Among the notable stadiums in the area is Kirov Stadium. Other opportunities for outdoor recreation are provided by the Kirov Park of Culture and Rest, the Zoo, the Botanical Gardens, and numerous other smaller parks and gardens.